Six Sigma and Organizational Goals. Module 01. Lesson 1.2. Lean Principles in the Organization. Hello and welcome to the Lean Six Sigma Certification Training Program from StarAgile. In this lesson, we are going to discuss about Lean Principles in the organization. Introduction to Lean. Since the industry understands Lean Six Sigma as one initiative, we need to understand both the methodologies so that we do justice to the overall improvement task. In the next slide, we are going to see History of Lean. History of Lean. Let us look at the history of Lean. It started in Japan after the Second World War and is mainly credited to the work of Taiji Ono at Toyota. His starting point was to minimize all forms of waste in the business, and one of the largest in a car manufacturer is inventory, i.e., any finished vehicles or part finished vehicles that have not been sold to a customer. A guiding principle in Lean is therefore not to make anything unless the customer has ordered it, and to configure the process so that just one item can be made at lowest possible cost. There are a number of tools used in Lean like JIT, just in time, Kanban, SMED, single minute exchange of dies, all focusing on reducing waste from the processes. The overall approach used by Toyota is now known as TPS or the Toyota Production System and is commonly used as a reference for effectiveness improvement. In the next slide, we are going to discuss on what is Lean and Lean principles. What is Lean? The 5 principles. Lean manufacturing is a methodology that focuses on identifying and minimizing waste within manufacturing systems. Minimizing waste will result in improvement of productivity. These 5 principles guide the application of Lean. From a Lean perspective, it is ultimately only the customer who can decide if a process activity adds value, i.e., would he think it reasonable to pay the supplier for that activity. The concept of value streams is fundamental and usually refers to all activities needed to translate a customer request or order into a delivered product or service. It is usually focused on product or service families, since the process may be radically different for different product or service families. Single piece flow is another Lean term. In other words, the process is ideally set up so that one item at a time can be made and it will flow smoothly through the process with no delays or holdups. Pull refers to being able to pull a product or service out of the end of the process when needed, as opposed to the traditional approach of pushing work through the process from the start in order to keep people and equipment busy even if the output is not wanted. Finally, never giving up on waste elimination is key. Ono identified 7 standard forms of waste which we will see shortly. In the next slide, we are going to understand about the hidden factory. The hidden office or factory. The concept of the hidden factory or office in a service environment is very important. It represents all of the activities that are necessary to recover from not getting things right first time. Not getting it right means there is some kind of defect, such as a missing part, a part with the wrong dimensions, a quote sent out with errors, etc. If we find the defect, it means we have to either rework the item or scrap it. If we don't find it, the customer may, and then we have to bear the cost of a warranty claim or a customer complaint. All of these things involve resources, people, energy, materials, which we would not have to pay for if we got it right first time. In many organizations, this kind of thing is embedded in the culture and nobody challenges why maybe 10% of the workforce are employed in the hidden factory. This gives a big scope for improvement. In the next slide, we are going to understand about cost of poor quality. Cost of poor quality, COPQ. A common metric in the industry is COPQ or cost of poor quality. If honestly captured, it can represent a high percentage of revenue. The iceberg analogy is pertinent here because many organizations fail to include the hidden costs, especially those associated with the hidden factory or office. What we see is the only tip of iceberg. What we do not see in our normal day-to-day working is the part of iceberg which is below the water level. It includes the cost of handling warranty claims, rework at various stages in the value chain, inspection and testing because of high rejection rates, audits and checks, excess inventory, and cost of effort spent on other inefficiencies. In other words, reducing these hidden costs represents a massive opportunity to improve the financial performance and long-term stability of business. In the next slide, we are going to discuss on the 7 wastes as suggested by Lean methodology. Tim Wood and Onos 7 wastes. These are Onos 7 wastes. It is worth remembering the character Tim Wood as his name is a useful mnemonic to assist with remembering them. If we look at these wastes, transportation. No customer will pay to us for transportation. They do not bother if we transport raw material from 10 kilometers or 100 kilometers. Inventory. Any material or finished good waiting in the factory is a big cost. Cost of material, storage cost, insurance cost, etc. is all waste. Motion. Of material inside the factory, movement of people, hand and body motion to access the tools and running machines, or picking up tools all needs optimization. Waiting. All the time spent on waiting for tools, material, processing, previous step, approvals, etc. Any type of waiting is an ill for the organization. Overproduction and overprocessing. Any king of production which will result in inventory is a waste for that time, and processing more than what customer wants is an overprocessing. We need to work on reducing these wastes. Defects. Finally, defect is a direct waste. None of the organization works to produce defects, which is a clear waste. We need to work to reduce defects. Another waste considered nowadays is unused skills. Tim Wood is now Tim Woods. As an organization, we need to have an eye for presence of these wastes. An effort must be made to identify and eliminate these wastes to make organization profitable. In the next slide, we are going to see different approaches to Six Sigma.